A reminder you can help support the channel by joining the AMTV Patreon. You can also follow us and keep up to date on Twitter at AmTV, or if you like, you can join us here at AMTV by becoming a staff member via the YouTube membership program. Hi there guys, it's Adam Martyn here, and welcome back to another instalment of the Now Review. And we have a brand new spin-off to look at today. We have Now 80s Dancefloor. So I'm sure a lot of you know that the 80s is a decade that now has treaded on very often recently. Funnily enough, just looking at the cover, they don't use the number 80s, they actually spell it out, which I think is the first time Now's done this, which is an interesting choice, if I do say so myself. On the cover, you've got a sort of dance floor lit up by multicoloured lights. Very reminiscent of like a 70s disco, but hey, maybe that's what dance floors still looked like in the 1980s. I wouldn't know. I wasn't there. You'll have to let me know in the comments. But I must admit, when they announced this, I was a bit skeptical. We've had a lot of Now 80s albums. We've had a lot of spin-offs related to the 80s. We did have a Now 80s dance album, which came out back in, I think, 2013, so almost a decade ago now. And there is a Now review for that, if you'd like to check it out. But yeah, what does this new one have to offer? Well, there's 4 discs, so let's flip on over to the all-important track list and find out just what this album has in store. Right, so kicking off, we have Flashdance, What a Feeling by Irene Cara, of course, a classic staple of the 80s from the film of the same name. I Want to Dance with Somebody Who Loves Me by Whitney Houston, absolutely deserves to be there. All Night Long by Lionel Richie, another classic, as is Teardrops by Womack and Womack. Shalimar with A Night to Remember, not a song I've always necessarily connected with, but hey, it's here. Sharon Red with Can You Handle It? I don't recognise that one by name, but I'm sure if I heard it, I'd probably bop to it. Alexander O'Neill with Fake. I'm surprised Criticise isn't on here, but Fake isn't one I'm overly familiar with. You've got Aretha Franklin with Who's Zooming Who, really underrated hit from the Queen of Soul, if you ask me. Jocelyn Brown with Somebody Else's Guy. Gwen Guthrie with Ain't Nothing Going On But the Rent, a really underrated 80s dance banger, if you ask me. Please give that a listen if you haven't done already. We have Joyce Sims with Come Into My Life. And just hopping on over to CD2, we've got IOU by Freeze. Not really, I mean, it's good, but it's not one of my favourites. Rocker's Revenge feat Donny Calvin with Walking on Sunshine. Nope, not the one you're thinking of. Malcolm McLaren, the world's famous Supreme Team with Buffalo Gals. Hey You, the Rocksteady Crew by, well, you guessed it, the Rocksteady Crew. Street Dance by Break Machine. Hey DJ by the world's famous Supreme Team. White Lines, Don't Do It by Grandmaster Flash and Grandmaster Melly Mel. That is one of an iconic song for sure. I Feel For You by Chaka Khan. Now that is a classic 80s banger that certainly deserves to be on an album like this. Let the Music Play by Shannon. Point of No Return by Expose. I've recently heard the extended version of this that was on the Now 12-inch 80s remixed album, which is fantastic. I haven't heard the original shorter version, so really looking forward to giving that a listen, to be honest. You have Just a Mirage by Jellybean. Tell It to My Heart by Taylor Dane. Again, another iconic 80s dance song that certainly deserves to be here. Okay, back to CD1, you have Say I'm Your Number One by Princess. Respectable by Mel and Kim, that's one of my favourite tracks produced by the Saw House, Stock Aitken Waterman. Jive Talking by Boogie Box High. Last Night a DJ Saved My Life by In Deep. Give It Up by Casey and the Sunshine Band. You know, I know that is an 80s song, but I always associate it with like the disco era. Maybe it's the sound. Girlfriend by Pebbles. Straight Up by Paula Abdul. A Love Supreme by Will Downing. And Hanging on a String or Contemplating by Loose Ends. Do you know what? There's a lot of tracks actually on CD1 itself that I'm not overly familiar with, at least by name. Maybe I'll recognise them, but it's nice to see now putting some names on here that you don't often see. At least I don't often see. And just finishing off CD2, you have Jump for My Love by the Pointer Sisters. Again, massive banger, one of their biggest hits. Body Rock by Maria Vidal. Just Be Good to Me by the SOS Band. The extended version of that's amazing. The regular song's good too. Highly recommend you listen to it. I Can't Wait by New Shoes. Trapped by Colonel Abrams. Again, that's a track that often gets overlooked in my opinion. Not enough people give that track some love. You have Nothing Serious, Just Buggin' by Whistle. I Wonder If I Take You Home by Lisa Lisa and Cult Jam with Full Force. That's a mouthful. Waiting for a Train by Flash in the Pan. And closing off CD2, you have 19 or No 19 by Paul Hardcastle. A song that when I first heard it, I didn't vibe to at all, but the more I've listened to it over the years, I really do quite like it. Right, CD3 then, we have Lost in Music, the 1984 Bernard Edwards and Nile Rodgers remix by Sister Sledge. You have Relaxed by Frankie Goes to Hollywood, an absolute classic, no disputes there, I don't think. Don't Leave Me This Way by the Communards, another classic there. You Spin Me Around Like a Record by Dead or Alive, again, hard. I'm so glad songs like this are on here. You Think You're a Man by Divine. Whatever I Do Wherever I Go by Hazel Dean. High Energy by Evelyn Thomas. So Many Men, So Little Time by Mikael Brown. Male Stripper by Man to Man. And on CD4, just jumping over for a sec, you have Ride on Time by Black Box, one of my all-time favourite songs ever, right at the tail end of the 80s there. Theme from S Express by S Express, which again is something that's grown on me over the years. Pump Up the Volume by Mars. Beat Dis by Bomb the Bass. Back to Life by Soul to Soul and Karen Wheeler. Buffalo Stance by Nina Cherry, Good Life by Inner City, good songs there, Wait by Kim Mazel and Robert Howard, The Only Way Is Up by Yaz and the Plastic Population, Touch Me by the 49ers. So CD4's really, I guess, entering that late 80s, the early rise of like house music, stuff like that. So finishing off CD3, we have Do You Wanna Funk by Patrick Cowley and Sylvester, Can't Take My Eyes Off You by the Boys Town Gang, In the Evening by Cheryl Lee Ralph, All American Boy by Barbara Pennington, It's Raining Men by the Weather Girls, so glad that's here, So Macho by Sunita, I think Toy Boy's a better song, Boys, Summertime Love by Sabrina, Requiem by the London Boys, don't often see the London Boys pop up, nice to see them actually pop up, a good song too, This Time I Know It's For Real by Donna Summer, one of her later hits of the 80s, Gloria by Laura Branigan, and Losing My Mind by Liza Minnelli, which of course is from the musical Follies, but this version produced by none other than the Pet Shop Boys. And finishing off CD4, you have People Hold On, Cold Cut Feet Lisa Stansfield, great song, Dirty Cash by Adventures of Stevie V, Jack Your Body by Steve Silk Hurley, Jack LaFreak by Chic, Street Tough by Double Trouble and Rebel MC, Rock the House by the Beatmasters and Cookie Crew, that's a good song, Got to Get by Robin Razfeet Leela Kay, Blue Monday 88 by New Order, great remix of that song there, Pacific 707 by the 808 State, and The Sun Rising by The Beloved, so you have 81 tracks in total. Okay, so let's open this guy up, see what we got. Oh, adverts. You got now 12-inch 80s remix, now Disco Classics Boogie Nights, now That's What I Call Electric, and now Your Book 82. All of which have had now reviews, by the way. You can check that out and follow now on all their social medias, of course. And the discs, so we have disc 1, which, let's see the... Oh, okay, so there you go. There's the logo, like on the front. That one's blue. Disc 2 is purple. Disc 3 is red. And disc 4 is like an orangey yellow. It's quite hard to tell even by my eyes. So there you go. There are your 4 discs. So closing thoughts on this album. I mean, again, I was a bit skeptical. There are a lot of songs that have appeared on Now albums several times over. I think you'll know the ones I mean there. But again, there are a lot of songs, quite a big chunk of songs that I'm not personally familiar with, at least by name, and that I don't recall seeing pop up on other recently released Now spin-offs, especially pertaining to the 80s. So it is nice again to see that now, as these releases have gone on, especially in 2022, they seem to be diversifying a bit more in terms of like their track list, their selection, what they're offering audiences, which I actually think is really good to vary it up a little bit for your audience, not to just give them the same thing over and over again. So in terms of who this is for, as always, check the track list, listen to some songs in advance, see if it's for you. If you like 80s dance, in particular, all the different kinds of dance, like the sort of leftovers from disco at the start of the decade, all the way through to house by the end of the decade, then if you like that sort of stuff, you'll probably enjoy this album, and it's probably worth picking up. Although if you don't like 80s music full stop, or if you're not a fan of like the dance genre, maybe it's one to stay away from. There are some pop hits on here as well that I'd argue are more pop than dance, but you do get a nice mix, all in all. 81 tracks, come on. And the price is $9.99, like a lot of these 4-disc releases are, so £10 basically for 81 tracks from the 1980s. Not a bad deal, if you ask me. You can get it from all the usual places. HMV is where I got mine. You can also order it online from certain retailers, supermarkets if you're lucky, all that sort of stuff. But that's all for this installment of the Now Review. Thank you very much for watching. If you enjoyed it, as always, please do leave a like on this video. We really do appreciate it. Let me know in the comments, are you going to be picking up Now 80s Dancefloor, or is this one you're going to pass on? Also, please feel free to subscribe. We'd love to have you aboard. Become a patron or a member here on YouTube if you'd like to help support this show and all the other shows we have here. I've been Adam Martyn from AMTV. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time. Thank you to our patrons for helping to support the show, and a special thank you to Macra, Lachlan Hatfield, and Jem Pringle, our AMTV staff members.